Hey guys, I just thought I would talk a little bit. I used to live my Christian life in fear. I used to live, fearing of what condemnation may come on me. Like I would mix law and grace. I thought, now I knew justification. I was saved as a kid, so I knew about justification, but I misunderstood sanctification. And of course, I had never been introduced to identification truths. So during that time of my life, I thought that the way to grow was works-based sanctification, also falsely called progressive sanctification, because in reality, neither of those two terms are real. Neither progressive sanctification nor work sanctification exist. Why? Because the nanosecond I believed the gospel, I was already not only justified, but sanctified and glorified and made holy and made a co-heir with Christ and already seated with him in heavenly places, ruling and reigning with him. I didn't know all of that. But I learned some, in retrospect, looking back, and now with identification truths, I choose identification truths over anything else, because fear is not of faith, and anything that is not of faith does not please God. So if you're staying, like, I had so many independent Baptist friends, and I was involved in independent Baptist churches for years, and they are so, I love them, I really do, but some of them, maybe not all of them, but some of them can be so legalistic that they live according to law. And it's so that they don't, it's just like, where's the fun? Where's the joy? Where's the joy of the Lord? Why so serious all the time? Why always hellfire and brimstone? Why not Christ as food and drink? Why not identification truths, right? And so it's just sad. Don't live your life in fear. You look to Christ. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some safeguards you should put up. You know yourself better than anybody else, and you know what safeguards you need to put up. So put the safeguards up, know what you need to avoid and stuff like that, but don't look to that as assurance that you're walking the way you're supposed to be walking. Look to Christ. So I'm not saying just go out there and just do whatever. Of course, no. I'm not condoning a license to sin, but I'm also not condoning legalism. So learning about identification truths keeps you in that balance, resting in Christ while he works out the walk through you, and resting in Christ keeps you from things that you don't need in the world, because as you feast on Christ, you don't have an appetite for the things of the world, because Christ as food and Christ is the everlasting water, the living water. You're never thirsty again. You feast on Christ and you don't hunger for the leeks and onions of Egypt. So I just wanted to encourage you guys today, if you're living in fear, and just look to Christ and ask him to reveal to you, Lord, what is everybody keeps talking about identification truths. Lord, I don't get it. What is it? Just ask for God to remove that veil from you and ask him to quicken your understanding as to what it means to be in Christ. What it means to have been crucified in Christ, to have been buried in the baptism of his death, to have been buried with him in baptism and raised in him to newness of life with him in you as a life-giving spirit. Okay, guys, be blessed.